for my online students in the business simulation class. A couple of things that I just want to talk to you about is what we're doing right now and for the next couple of weeks. So for this week, what I really want you to be working on is I'm going to go into our individual, is completing your decisions. So I'm going to go into Jake's. Jake was in class working today, figured out that I did not have it set up as a foot race to like automatically go, like I would have to submit them for you guys, so that's why you were not seeing the next round. So you should now be able to start your next round. I do have a peer evaluation that's in here. You do not have to fill out the peer evaluation because you're doing this on your own. There is no peer evaluation for you to do because you'd be evaluating yourself. So there is no peer evaluation. You do not have to worry about this, but you should be able to go next to the next round and submit your scores. Okay. The one thing I do want to show you is a little bit about the balance score sheet. So you can get to the balance score sheet in your decisions. And in fact, I'm going to go back in there for Jake just to show Jake where that is. And you guys where it is. So if I went into decisions, launch the web spreadsheet, I am not going to touch anything that he did to do any harm. But if you go to reports, this is where you can take a look at your low tech and high tech. But if you go to pro formas, the balance sheet and then the balance scorecard is there. So this is the balance scorecard that we're actually going to go through. And this tells you kind of where you're at any given point. Okay, there's different view things here, so it will tell you what this means. So this is what you're actually being measured on for this round is the balance scorecard. So your revenue is important, your profit margin is important. All those things from the previous round are important, but really what you're looking at is more of a balanced scorecard look. So you're looking at your financials, your internal business processes, your customer, and your learning and growth. And these are all super important for you to continue to grow. Each round there's different levels. So in the fourth round, TQM becomes more important. So that is why for Jake, he's got that in here, but you won't for the first couple of rounds. So you'll look at employee turnover and employee productivity primarily in the beginning. And then in the fourth round, I believe the TQM comes into play. There's also the customer buying criteria, your awareness, and there's different levels for this. Like product count, as an example, if I go to view, product count says, product count is the number of viable products you offer. To be considered a viable product, it must have 6% or more of a segment sale. So full credit is that your product has 6% or more of a segment sale. So it's all of the products in your segment that you're looking at. So that's why his is at 1.7 right now. It's the amount of products that are really at that percentage of the segment. Okay. So that's the customer issue. SG&A expense is how much you're spending on your people. And any other, it's like sales, it's all that kind of stuff. So it's a little bit of everything, but people is definitely in there for cost. And then internal business process, you can also see how much you're spending in the contribution margin. So if your contribution margin is lower or higher, you will I think it's lower, you will receive less points. Plant utilization is higher or lower. So just something to think about. If you're getting 0 on plant utilization, it's something that happened today. People are saying, well, I have 0% utilization. I'm like, how is that possible? And I was not understanding. But what happens is if you have over 200% at this point, 200% usually is over 180 utilization, then you start losing points. So if it's over 200% utilization, you lose points. And if it's under 90% utilization, you lose points. So anything in between, you get points for it. And it's 90. That's kind of the parameter. 90 is A, 100 is B, C is 180, and D is 200. So this is where the credit comes into play. So if you're struggling with utilization, which right now Jake is not, that's something to consider. Contribution margin you should be very familiar with from the practice rounds for sure. And then leverage stock prices and profits is really your financial statement on how well you're doing. So this is what we're going to be looking at overall. So I'm going to go ahead and exit out of this and not updating anything. You're all my witness. And I'm going to go over and show you what we'll look at just so you can kind of see. Now, I know that Jake was in there working today, so this is why his is going to be in there probably a little bit sooner than everybody else's because he was there when I activated it. Oh, I'm good reports. And where is my, oh, there it is, industry scoring. Like, why am I not seeing it? So you can see that his points are in here. And so this is what I'm going to be reviewing. Once you start submitting your rounds, I will be reviewing kind of where everybody's at so you can see you're not necessarily competing with one another other than for overall points in the round. So you want to be increasing this. Your overall points is 89. The first round might be a little bit rough going, but you will make up as you go. So definitely take a look at this. You can't redo rounds. So in this competition area, you can't redo rounds. So that is going to be the only difference between this and the practice round, but you can continue working. What I don't want you to do though is like finish all of the rounds this week. I'd like you to pace it out so that when we start CompXM, you're really still familiar with it and you don't let too much time sit. So don't get too far, but I'd like you to get through close to 4 rounds by next week. That would be great. And Jake did, I think, most of them today in class because he had the first round done and the rest he did in class. So it doesn't take you too long to do it. The other thing that I want you to look at is for this week, there is quiz 2 in here. I do have it set for you to take it twice, so if you need to take it a second time, you can. And that is available to you. A lot of the answers we were finding in the team member guide, so if you need to go open that up, that would be a great place to look. And then these Capsim rounds, remember that you can keep doing them as you go. I kind of reset what my expectations were for the due dates for those. So as long as you go out here and you take a look at where we're at for the online schedule, and I'll just quickly pull this up for you. And in case you didn't do quiz number 1 is out there for you yet too. So you can still go out and finish quiz number 1. There was only 1 take on that one, but this one I gave you 2 takes. So if you want to take it a second time, you certainly can. I do not know if it's like the highest score is what's kept. So if you had a higher first score and it didn't save it as your final score, just send me a message and I'll update it. That's not a problem. I can't recall how I set that up. Okay, so this is the schedule. So we're right now in this week. So quiz 2 is due, and then the foot race 3 and 4. So this is what I want you to have done: is foot race 1, 2, round 3 and 4. Okay. If you have any other questions, please let me know. But I hope that helped you get set up. We had lots of questions in class today that everybody was kind of putting their heads together to answer. So if you're stuck with something, please let me know, and I try to create a video for you. I'll have my in-person students help because they're a wealth of information as they're running into issues as well, and we can all work on it together. Okay? That is it. Have a great week.